Here we are on our VisionCourse website, big commerce partner, and make sure the health of the stream and everything is alright. Over here we go. All right. So, just a little introduction to VisionCourse. Since it looks like we don't really have anyone here, hopefully the stream quality is good. Looks like it's doing all right. So we are a preferred big commerce partner. We do design along with development and digital marketing. Again, we are specialists in big commerce, and this is what we do. We are web design was our bread and butter for the longest time, and we do SEO marketing. That's where I come in, and we are big commerce experts. And then we're also stencil experts. We have done hundreds of upgrades to stencil. Most of you are probably already on stencil. And then API, and then PPC. We actually have had much success with PPC. This last year was hard for everyone. And in most industries, the average cost per click went up 25 cents. I'm sorry, 25%, which would increase your average ad spend at about 25%. And what we've been able to do is, when we haven't been able to increase it, because some people we've almost doubled their revenue on their same ad spend. But for most other people, we've at least been able to manage the bleeding of, shipping issues, people losing their jobs, not really being able to buy online so much anymore. More and more companies selling online, and that's mostly what drives up the cost per click. As stores got closed down, they moved. Some of them had to shut down the retail stores altogether. They moved to online. So they now more and more companies are online than ever before, and that increase was greater year over year than ever before. So what we were able to do is, at least for the same ad spend, maintain their return or minimize a loss, and still keep it profitable. And here's a welcome video. And let's go ahead and watch it. Why not?
Meet James. James owns his own business. When he initially launched it, he was so proud of his first sale and was so happy, dreaming of his profitable future. He stayed that way for a while, but over time, something changed. Although James was still making sales, they remained flat, and his website was nowhere to be found on Google. No matter what he did, it seemed like he couldn't grow his business or increase his rankings as much as he wanted to. James was bummed out because his competitors didn't seem to be having the same problem. In fact, they seemed to be getting the sales that James was missing out on. At first, James struggled to figure out how to improve Google rankings, traffic, and ultimately sales, until he heard about VisionCourse Media's free web design and digital marketing consultations. So, he scheduled a consultation, and it was there that he learned about VisionCourse Media's comprehensive four-pronged approach that tackled search engine optimization, pay-per-click ads, video marketing, and website updates for long-term quantifiable growth. With search engine optimization, or SEO, more potential customers would be able to find James's business in Google and Bing search results, bringing his website way more traffic. Pay-per-click, or PPC ads, would help him do the same thing by targeting great prospects with professional, high-quality ads so he could entice more leads to his website. Video marketing would create engaging and enticing videos similar to this one, convincing shoppers to make purchases off his website. Website updates would increase the user's experience on James's website, making it easier to convert. James liked the thought of all this, but what he enjoyed hearing even more was that VisionCourse Media focused relentlessly on growth. After making the changes they discussed, the VisionCourse Media team would monitor his website analytics and continue to make strategic suggestions, helping his business continuously improve and grow month after month. Because VisionCourse Media had over 2 decades of experience in digital marketing and web design, along with plenty of enthusiastic customer reviews, James thought it was worth a shot. Fast forward to a year later, today, James's business is doing just great. He no longer worries his competitors are getting customers he missed out on. Instead, he's pretty sure he's grabbing their customers. And with greater traffic, repeat customers, higher sales, more money in the bank, and a greater peace of mind, James is feeling really happy again. Be like James. Call 877-696-3475 or visit VisionCourse Media's website now at www.visioncoursemedia.com to set up your free digital marketing and web design consultation and learn how we can help your business achieve long-term, measurable growth.
All right. What do y'all think of that video? Of course, we still have no one in the chat, so you won't be able to tell me. But that's okay. If you're seeing, I'm going to actually post this video after, so if you're seeing it, feel free to comment down below. Alright, so here's the rest of our homepage. What makes us different is, as sort of a smaller company, we can, we could spend more time one-on-one with you, and I actually do, when companies will just charge like a flat fee, and then they'll make changes or bring suggestions to you, whatever. A lot of them will just make the changes without even saying anything. But what I pretty much do, at least from an SEO perspective, is analyze what's going on through your analytics, through Search Console, through your website, stuff like that. And I see changes that need to be made, and I bring them to you. Then you get to decide whether or not you want to pay for it, for that to get fixed. Or if you want to see if that's something you want to try to do in-house, maybe you have someone, if it's something you think they can handle, that they can tackle it. And for those particular minutes or hours that I put in to figure out that strategy for you, generally you're not charged. So if you have questions about something, we can give you the suggestion. And sorry this doesn't seem more scripted, but you know, it's live. So we work with you, and you decide what you want to try to tackle and what you're comfortable paying us to tackle, because you know it's outside of your realm of expertise. And then, because you know what they say, the most successful people know what they can't do, and they pay for experts to come in and take care of what they know they can't do. And so here's some, Mr. Oh yeah, he was fun to work with. And then, yeah, I mean, we work with sales and orders. They actually have a article about us, about our success. When we switched some people over to sales and orders, when BigCommerce got rid of their API, they I actually was getting people like 12 to 1, 15 to 1 returns. And then unfortunately all this that was in like October of 2019. And we were going strong, 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 and then March 2020 hit, everything shut down. People stopped doing PPC because they weren't sure what was going on in the world with their business, etc. Some people had to stop because we were bringing them so many sales, but they couldn't fulfill because shipping was an issue. And then by the time we were up and running again, half the world was on the internet, on e-commerce that wasn't before, and cost per clicks went up. And I'd say an average of 25%. There's been some people where they were doing 45 cents, $1.50 per click, and it jumped up to $7.50 per click. Well, if your products are like $50 to $100, that what was profitable at 40 cents per click is no longer profitable at $7.50. I saw someone going from $4 to like $12, and so yeah, that for them that ended up kind of making it not worth it for them, which I recommended. So I didn't just say, hey, let us keep spending your money and having you pay us if I didn't think that it would help them out. That's ultimately what I try to do. As I always try to to give you advice on what you should do, and then we track the data and see if it works. Google, unfortunately, does not tell us exactly what to do. So they'll say, "Oh, your title tags are how we know what's on the page." They don't even tell you how many characters to put in the title tags. How we know is some of those big, big, big monster companies that handle millions of clients and billions of dollars and cost $40,000 a month to do their SEO. They have all these studies out. They do a case study when they see or people like BigCommerce or Shopify will put these out because they handle merchants and stuff. And so many merchants. And when they see a trend across almost all of their clients, they can then put out some data, some stuff like that. That's where my research comes in. That's how you know. Before, it was 70 characters per limit. Then there were studies that said, well, actually, the closer to 60 you are, the better your website does. And then they said, well, now it looks like you're closer to 50 you are, the better your website does. And then, how well does your website do putting your brand in there? When should you put your brand in there? Should you even put your brand in there? Which pages? And then, do meta descriptions help increase rankings? They really don't, but they'll help increase your click-through rate. And what do you want to put in your meta description? I'll give you a little hint. Right now, you want to put in, obviously, a descriptor of what's on that page that person is about to click. But then what you also want to put is what makes your business different. Any deals you have, sales, free shipping, things like that. I have a couple clients who have free shipping based on tiers of purchases. And you just kind of say, free shipping options available, something like that. Because you only have so many characters. That's the other thing. There was a point where Google came out and said you now have 300 characters available for your meta description. And then people had to make those changes and wait 3 to 6 months to see how the results were turning out. And that's from implementation. If you have thousands of pages that need meta descriptions and you do 50 meta descriptions, 100 meta descriptions, you want to see a result in 2 weeks to a month, You're not going to. And again, that's not going to necessarily increase your rankings. That will just increase your click-through rate. But your click-through rate isn't going to be as good if you're not ranking well on at all to get it. If your page is on page 5, I mean, people aren't even going to see your meta description to click it. So you may not see a increase in click-through rate, and that could give you a false correlation. So so there's lots of instances where you need to take a lot of different things into consideration, and that's something an expert would know. Someone who says, "Oh, I changed my meta descriptions, but my click-through rate didn't increase." Well, they're not going to know that the nuance of, well, yeah, you're ranking on page 5, your click-through rate's not going to increase. If you're on page 1 or 2, even 3, and your click-through rate doesn't increase, yes, then you know that that's an applicable metric. And then content. Content's the biggest question mark in all of SEO right now. It always has been. Since they started in about 2010 really cracking down on people spamming content and stuff like that. So, and what I mean by content is I mean content on the actual website, like this text here. Usually if you can highlight it, then it's considered content. If it's in an image and you try to highlight it, and it's like an image and it moves like that and there's text in there, that's not going to be considered content on the website unless you have an image alt attribute in which, here, let me show you. So for that image, this particular one, this is just like an icon that we're using. So it doesn't really have an image. You can't really make an alt text on that particular icon with the program we're using. But for most images, you want to have an image alt attribute, and if you do, that kind of works as keyword in content on the page. And this is one way. You don't have to have a paragraph or a block of text. You can have, so this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6-sentence paragraph broken up into user-friendly links. So someone's not having to read through and then click, find the word they want and click it. So it could be a table. Let's check out some of our blogs on content. I actually... Alright. So... so last summer we actually had... our strategies were confirmed by Google's John Mueller. Let me see exactly. So, above the fold content really does matter. And that's content of before you scroll. So right here, that's why an image alt attribute in here is so important. SEO content strategy. That's the alt tag for this. So then Google sees SEO content strategies verified by Google. That's our title tag. And then the image is talking about SEO content strategy. Boom. Google knows that that's what this is about. And then we have a header for SEO content writing. And then I have links here. These are called internal links, and they point to, this is one I wrote last May, but honestly, the basics of it are these 10 tips. You're going to want to follow these 10 tips the same way. The difference is, especially identifying proper search intent, the difference on what Google changes is sometimes they want you to have long form, sometimes they want you to have short form. So what you need to do is you need to Google the actual term, and you can do that with search intent. So you Google the term you want, and a lot of times if you're selling products, you'll see there are blogs that pull up that have like the top 10 of these products in this industry, whatever. But those are articles. There'll be an article in like Men's Health Fitness or like a cooking blog or variety for like movie stuff. Um, and you're not going to compete against those. So what you then need to do is go back to your keyword research and the data, and you need to find a term. Keep going down the search volume list so that you're getting the one with the highest search volume, but then find one that has other e-commerce sites pulling up on page one. Once you get to there, then you want to analyze what they're doing. Is it the content on their site above the fold? Is it below the fold? Do they have a lot of content? Do they have a little content? And most of the time, the more content, the better. So if you see a lot of your competition, they don't have the exact title tag in the... Oh, this is actually a good idea for my next blog. I'm going to write, how do I analyze my competition on Google to determine whether I can rank or not? So what you can know is if they have the title tag, that term in their title tag, or is it just a related term? Do they have optimized meta descriptions? Is the content on their website informative? Is it flushed out? Is it engaging? Does it have internal links like this? Google loves these internal links that link from one page to another within the same website. In fact, if you Google internal links to do some research on it, you'll see SEO Moz always pops up number one. The owner, the former owner, Rand Fishkin, he taught some of the courses where I got my certification from for SEO. So I really learned from a guy who knew what he was talking about. And then you'll read their blog on internal linking, and it is very long, very in-depth. But long story short, internal links point from one page on your website to another page, and generally people want to be able to get from one page to another within 3 clicks. So you should be able to get from like our PPC page to maybe the custom design page within 3 clicks. Maybe the PPC sends you to back up to the digital marketing, and then the digital marketing page sends you over to web and development as part of helping it out. And then the web and development will have content with a link that sends you down to custom design. You got from there to there in 3 clicks without having to go back up to the navigation. So, do they have the internal links? And then, let me see. Is their content mixed up with images? Do the images have alt attributes? Do they have numbered lists, infographics, etc.? Do they keyword stuff? How many times do they use your target keywords? Do they use it a lot? Do they not use it very much? You can also get a sense of how often you want to use it. Because sometimes, if you use a term 5 times, Google considers it the keyword stuff. Sometimes you're allowed to use it 15 times before they get there. It really depends on the industry. That's why what we do is we propose strategies, we implement the strategies, we analyze the data in analytics and Search Console and any other tools that you may have accounts with, any tools that we may have that we purchased, and and then also we want to check your page speed insights. I have a whole other thing I want to get there, and then we would check the data and make sure that we're seeing an increase. If we do almost the whole site pretty much at once, we should see an increase in about a month. If we're doing it little by little, I've been working with one website where they do about 5 hours a month. It's about like $350 a month. But they've been steady with it, and it's been like a couple years, like 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, and just in like December and January, they finally hit. Because they have thousands of pages, or thousands of products and stuff, and we've just been chugging away at it, and it finally kicked in, and they finally got like a huge jump in their rankings. And I've had other clients tell me they finally just hit like really good sales in December because we put them in. We were doing SEO for them for a while, and then last sort of spring and summer, about this time, we put a real effort into optimizing for the holidays. So then by the time the 3 to 6 months of the holiday season came around, they said they weren't expecting such a good holiday season, and they got one. So yes, we focused in the spring and summer to optimize for the holidays, but they had been doing the regular optimization stuff previously, so that when we wanted to focus, we didn't have to go do all of the little things. I didn't have to redo a whole bunch of different research. I didn't have to create content from scratch. We updated it based on what their competition doing, based on Google algorithm changes, things like that. Based on what we've seen, is there stuff that are we losing rankings on a certain set of terms? Well, why? What is now ranking higher doing different than what we had previously done before? And how do we adjust and change to that? So all that monitoring all is just as important as doing, and sticking with it is just as important as if you paid us 40 grand just to do one time big optimization. That would be the best thing, obviously, and you get your whole site optimized all at once, and Google starts crawling everything, gets everything going, and then we do all these analysis and tweaks monthly. And then obviously the more you do up front, the lower your monthly is going to be once we're done with the work, and the sooner you'll start seeing results. So again, I say 3 to 6 months, but that's when the entire website is optimized. And then, so if you're doing little by little, it's not, you can't really consider that 3 to 6 months to have even been able to start. I did want to run through Google Page Speed real quick, because Google Page Speed is something that's tricky. Google Analytics code slows your website down, according to Google's Page Speed Insights. So there are some things you just have to have on your website that slow it down, that there's nothing you can do about. What you should really focus on is run your Page Speed Insights, compare it to the Page Speed Insights of some of your other competition. Is it similar for mobile and desktop? If it is, you're probably okay. If you know that there's something, can you make some of the image files smaller? And when I say image files smaller, so like this, I would run it through something like tinypng.com, and it would make the file smaller, but the clarity would be the same. The image size would be the same. I'm talking about the actual file size, the kilobytes, the megabytes, whatever. All right, so I'm going to leave it there for our first live stream. Doesn't look like anybody came in and no one said anything. That's okay. Hopefully you see this video on replay and you get something out of it there. If you did, please feel free to like this video, comment down below what you liked about it, subscribe to the channel so that you can see more input like this. And if you had been here, I would have spent 30 minutes basically doing analysis and an audit for your site live, because we would have only had one person here. So, and you could have just kept asking questions and questions. So make sure you're here next time. And yeah, if you're seeing this video, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm sure I'll figure out a nice sign off in the future. But for now, best of luck with all of your e-commerce endeavors, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.